when I do today and Friday's spiel, the work I'm setting you is the review set. I don't want you doing any questions in 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, 3E, 3F, 3G, 3H, 3I, because I'm going to do a summary of all of them. And if you can do the review set questions, you don't need to do anything in chapter 3. But if there's some things in the review set questions, like I don't know how to do this question, you might want to go back into 3F and do a couple of examples and then come back to the review set. Is that okay? So what I'd like to do is treat transformations in total in preference to incrementally just dilations, just reflections, just translations, and treat it as a total thing. And if we get it through that process, then that's going to buy us some time and we'll have a better, fuller understanding. Okay, so for transformations we have D, R, T. That's the order that you should think about them. What does the D stand for?
Domain.
Dilation. What does the R stand for? Reflection. And what does the T stand for? Translation. So what's a dilation? What's a dilation?
Skinny, I like.
Yeah. The skinny, I like the word, but I never want you to use it again. It's not a criticism, but it doesn't help me.
It's like multiply by.
So I think a dilation is either stretching or squashing. Stretching or squashing. Stretching or squashing. So it's a stretch or it's a squash. A stretch or a squash. Or it could be stretching or squashing. Stretch that way or squash this way. Now the problem that I have about the word skinny, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I need to confront it, is that if I had a parabola that went like this, and then it became this parabola, was that parabola a stretch away from the x-axis, or was it a squash towards the y-axis?
Squash.
Well, they're both. I don't know which one it is. If I was to stretch this point here, which is at 1 and 1, became this point here, which is 1 and 3. It got stretched up. And this point here, which is negative 1 and 1, got stretched up to there, negative 1 and 3. It got stretched by a factor of 3 away from the x-axis. Can you see the stretching that's happening? So they're actually being pulled up by a magnifier, by a product value, by a constant, a proportion. So if this point here was 2 and 4, it goes up to there, 2 and times by 3, 12. Because this is a dilation by a factor of 3 from the x-axis, which I'm going to think about as being a dilation like this, a stretch away from the x-axis, and it made it skinny. Is that correct? If I had the same parabola and I had a squash towards the y-axis, so a dilation by a factor of a half from the y-axis, that goes to there, that goes to there, that goes to there, that stays there, that goes in, that goes in, that goes in, that goes in, end up with that parabola. Can you see our problem? They are totally different dilations. They are totally different dilations. One is changing the y values, one is changing the x values. Can you see our problem? So skinny and fat, I've asked the Year 10 teachers to not use those words again because it creates a sort of a problem with what we think is being dilated. So that's what makes sense? Okay, so can I get you to get a copy of this just somewhere in your books, and let's draw